certainty of death, small chance of success. What are we waiting for?
Fellas, I feel this is my lucky day.
Brilliant.
Hey, and welcome to another episode of Rankin. We're going to be talking about Chris Pratt movies, and it's definitely going to be an interesting one. But over here we've got Jacob. Jacob, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. I'm excited to talk about some Chris Pratt movies, or at least the ones that I've seen.
And next up we got Jordan. Jordan, how's it going?
Pretty good. Happy to be talking Chris Pratt. You know, I get all the time people get confused because we look so much alike. So, it's very apropos I'm here.
Moving along, got Steven. Steven, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going well. He has got a stronger filmography than I initially would have thought, looking back at a lot of the movies that he's done.
And last but not least, we've got Kevin. Kevin, how's it going?
It's going quite well. I'm really excited to talk about Chris Pratt movies. He's done some quite notable movies that I'm really excited to chat about.
But with that being said, how the show works, we're going to go round the board, and each nominated movie we think belongs on the top 12 Chris Pratt movies list. And then everyone else will say yes or no to it, and if we get some more yeses, then it makes the list. Jacob, what is the first movie you're going to nominate?
It's a pretty obvious choice, I think. The one I'm going to start off with is Guardians of the Galaxy. I think it's a no-brainer. This movie, when I first heard about it, sorry, that threw me off.
I didn't even notice.
When this movie first was being announced and the trailer checking out, I was like, this movie looks dumb. It's not going to work at all. I'm not going to like it. Boy, was I wrong, because it was a welcome surprise, a welcome addition to the MCU. Chris Pratt absolutely kills it as Star-Lord. Sorry, Jordan. The better Star-Lord. And yeah, it was just a fun movie. And it's where my love for Chris Pratt movies really started, because he absolutely kills it as Star-Lord. And yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Jordan, I think I know what you're going to say, but what do you say about Guardians of the Galaxy?
I haven't seen this one, so I'm going to say, no, I'm just kidding. I mean, come on. This is what really turned him from, the chubby guy from Parks and Rec is going to be all right. And, I don't think the trailer looked bad, but it wasn't a group of characters I knew much about or cared about. And now I absolutely love those characters. And, he's a big part of it. And it's a really fun movie, man. I mean, even the opening sequence, you kind of instantly fall in love with him, Star-Lord, and you get the vibe of it. So, yeah, absolutely. That's the first one I would have mentioned if I went first. So, yeah, thumbs up.
Stephen, what do you say about Guardians of the Galaxy?
Well, I know I'm going to be outvoted because I love science fiction. I love the MCU. I thought I was going to love this movie, especially because I actually thought the trailer was great, especially with the the music. The soundtrack's great, and the characters are good, and I like the chemistry with the cast. But I thought the plot and the villains was, and the movie itself. I mean, I'm not going to be upset that it's making the list, but it's not one of my favorite of the MCU movies, so I would say no.
Kevin, what do you say about Guardians of the Galaxy?
I'm going to say yes. I really like this one. This one, when the announcement came, I'm like, I was surprised by this movie ever existing, because I was never familiar with the comic itself. But I'm thinking, this is going to be crazy and insane, and I can't wait to watch. And it was all that, and yet I still cry at the beginning of the opening movie still. I, of course, have to say yes to this.
Yeah, this was going to be an easy yes for me as well. I somehow managed to avoid trailers for it, but I knew I was going to watch it anyway because it's MCU, and the MCU had never disappointed me to this point anyway. And I really enjoyed it. Once again, I had no idea who these people were. I just knew that John Schnepp was really on board with this, and he was excited for this. So, and yeah, it's a good movie. And it makes the list. Jordan, what is the first movie you're going to bring up?
All right, from a really fun movie, let's go a little dark, maybe some Zero Dark 30. Obviously this can be the first of many that he's not the main focus of, but he's pretty good in it. And you get a little bit of a different side, some Scrubble, which is always fun. And I just think it's a very well made movie. It's a tale to where even if you know the whole story, it's good. If you don't know the whole story, it's even better. And this will be my nomination, Zero Dark 30.
Stephen, what do you say about Zero Dark 30?
Yeah, he's done several movies where he's only got a small part in it, but and this is, I think, one of his best ones. I think he's solid in it, and it's a great movie. So yeah.
So Kevin, what do you say about Zero Dark 30?
I wouldn't say yes. Sorry, I'm not slowly lying, but yes. I think this was while this was a small part for Chris Pratt, I feel like it did help him introduce him to get the notice of an ad pack for Star-Lord. I of course have to say yes to that.
And this is one I've not seen, so I would have to abstain. Jacob, what do you say about Zero Dark 30?
I also have not seen this one, so
Which doesn't matter because it does make the list anyway.
it's
Because
just been on my shelf for like 3 years too. So I have no excuse.
but with that, Stephen, what is your first nomination?
I will go with the Lego Movie, which is just a lot of fun from start to finish. It's very funny. Everything is awesome. So, yeah, I'm sure everyone thought it was going to be terrible since, a movie about Legos, but it ended up being great. So, yeah, that's my first nomination.
Kevin, what do you say about Zero Dark 30? The Lego Movie.
I was going to say yes to it again. Okay, but I would fully say yes. This was one of the most weirdest movies to ever be announced. When I first saw the announcement, I'm like, what? That sounds dumb. Then I saw the poster. I'm like, I put poster and it had just the cast. I'm like thinking, oh, okay, this could be good now. It has Liam Neeson, Elizabeth Banks, Morgan Freeman. I'm like, okay, you got me interested now. And then watching it, I think on a Valentine's Day with my brother. Oh my God, we just started laughing. In fact, I choked on a popcorn while laughing. I really love this movie. What is one of the best animated movies of all time, even for this for the 2010th decade. And it got me to get into Legos because I have this sworn amount of Legos sets I built because of this. Of course, it is a definite yes.
Yeah, the Lego Movie is an easy yes for me as well. I love this movie. I was one of those rare people that when it was first announced, I was like, this could work. You can do anything you want with Legos. It all depends on how they did it, and they managed to find a good story that works for the movie. And I was pleased. I was surprised by how good it was. But I wasn't too worried about when it was first announced. But yeah, Jacob, what would you have said about Lego Movie?
I would have also said yes. I was debating between this and Guardians for my first nomination, actually. Um, but yeah, I would have said yes. This was another movie that I thought was going to be meh at best, and then you watch it and you just have such a good time. The characters are all great, and the voice cast is just phenomenal. So it would have been a yes from me.
And Jordan, what would you have said about the Lego movie?
Yeah, definite clean sweep here. This would have been the next one I brought up. Just so much fun here. And again, to shout out Pratt, who we're talking about, he's kind of the perfect choice for this. You know what I mean? To set up this whole universe and whatnot. And yeah, this could have gone emoji level territory, but it didn't. They found it was a really smart script from the right people, and yeah, it's a great one.
And for that, Kevin, what is your first nomination?
Okay, my first nomination. Okay, if you're wondering what's on my hair and what I've been fiddling with the whole entire time, it's part of my next pick, and that is Onward. I have the elf ears. Oh my god, what's your thought? But yes, I forced and picked Onward. This was the last week I ever watched in theaters last year. This one I did get teared up. It's an emotional movie for me. Like I feel like am close with my dad, and especially I'm really close with my brother as well, and we do often have some fun adventures together. I love the fantasy world for this, and especially the bond of Tom Hiddleston and Chris Pratt really did sell this movie for me. So I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah, I like Onward. I think it's a good movie. And I'm going to give it a slight yes. Jacob, what do you say about Onward?
I'm gonna give this a yes. I love this movie. I think the relationship between the brothers is extremely well done. And spoilers for anyone watching that hasn't seen this. The end of the movie, I love it. You know, Tom Holland's character, I think he's Ian. You know, they go on this journey just so he can see his dad, and then he sacrifices that for his brother. Like I love that. Like it's not the ending you expect, but it's the ending that more than works for this movie. So, yes. All right, Jordan.
Oh, okay, you done spoiling?
Jordan, what do you have to say about Onward?
Wait, I saw the movie. Why was I so upset about spoilers? No, yeah, it's a yes for me too. Good, really strong animated movies in a row here for Pratt. Just shows you too how like he can emote just through voice, and same thing for Holland. I think they're both kind of racking up pretty decent voice roles, and so yeah, definitely yes for me as well. A good mix of fun and then also some emotion at the end.
But Stephen, what would you have said about Onward?
There were a few movies I really wanted to see before this. I've seen bits and pieces of this movie, including the ending, so it wasn't spoiled for me here. But I don't think I've seen enough of the movie to be able to give this any vote.
But if that Onward makes the list anyway, and with that, my first nomination I'm going to throw out there is one that it's going to be interesting to see how this goes, because he is only a relatively small part in this, but I'm going to go for the movie Her. This is a movie I watched for the first time this week, and this is just a really emotional story about this guy who falls in love with a computer, so to speak, and it's just a really interesting romantic movie. Chris Pratt only has a small part as a co-worker, but he does appear in the movie quite often, and I think he does a really good job in this by being a co-worker and all that. It's a fun movie. I wouldn't be too upset if it makes it just because he is a small part in this, but let's find out. Jacob, what do you say about Her?
I have not seen this movie yet, but it's on the list to watch.
Jordan, what do you say about Her?
Yeah, it's a strong yes for me. We've talked about previous on the show. I think we voted this in for Amy Adams as well. Both of them are definitely side characters here, but it's a really strong movie. So yeah, it's a yes for me. It's one I need to rewatch because I haven't seen it in a little bit, but I remember really really liking it a lot.
Stephen, what do you say about her?
Well, I already mentioned how much I love the sci-fi genre, and this is a great sci-fi movie. Joaquin Phoenix is great. Scarlett Johansson is amazing in it. Even it's just her voice, and she's. I mean, the movie doesn't work if she's not great. So yeah, I mean, I love this movie, so it's definitely yes.
Kevin, what do you say about her?
I'm gonna have to abstain. I have not seen this one still. I've been wanting to see it, but I just never got a chance around to it still.
But if that it still makes the list. And we going to move on to Jacob. What is your next nomination?
I think I'll stick with the MCU and I'll go Avengers: Infinity War. I think Chris Pratt in this movie. He's one of the main characters. I think he has a big role in the movie, especially in them failing, and just the emotion that he shows. I think he's really grown as a character from the previous two Guardians movies to this movie, and just another strong performance as Star-Lord, and I think one that's on par with Guardians in my opinion. So Infinity War is my next nomination.
Jordan, what do you say about Avengers: Infinity War?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a yes as well. It's always fun seeing all the different characters mixed with each other here, and fun seeing Guardians slip into other, have some time with other people. It is kind of Star-Lord's fault, so just saying, you gotta blame him a little bit, but no, it's a really fun movie here, man. I was thinking between this and Endgame myself, talking about next, but I mean, if you go for him, yeah, he probably has more to do here in Infinity.
Stephen, what do you say about Infinity War?
It's my second favorite MCU movie, and so yeah, and out of between the two, admittedly, this is the one that he has the bigger part, the more important part. So yeah.
Kevin, what do you say about Infinity War?
Well, as someone who has an Infinity War poster right in front of him.
No.
It's awful. Yes, yes. I think the one of the biggest MCU crossover films. Of course, I have to say yes. The crap name I'm mumbling. Sorry, but I love this one. It's truly epic. The part in time works great with the right group, which were the Guardians, and Tony, Spidey, and Doctor Strange worked really great. It's not his fault. He couldn't compose himself. Wait till we get to one of my picks. I will fully defend that scene. It's Thor's fault. He got cocky.
But yeah, I haven't seen Infinity War. I just skipped straight to Endgame. No, just kidding. I love Infinity War. And yeah, like I too was tossing up between this and Endgame, but ultimately Infinity War he's got more to do. Endgame is just in the final battle, which he still has lots to do in that battle. But Infinity War is at the more meaty Star-Lord part, and like everything he does, like in this, whether it's him interacting with Thor or any of the other characters that he's meeting for the first time, it's just a lot of fun. And it's one of those ones. Like, yes, it might have been Star-Lord's fault, but also he was upset. And as well, so and I know really upset you do tend to act rashly a lot of the time anyway, but with that, Avengers Infinity War does make this list. Jordan, we go on to you.
All right, so going again to a, I wouldn't say too much of a serious movie, but I'm gonna go with Moneyball. Actually, is what I'm gonna go with. Brad Pitt, Jonah Hill. He's kind of, I think, the big player in the movie as well. Again, kind of a movie that you might even forget he's in it, until you look back at his filmography. But I just thought it was a really smart movie here. Again, I'm not a huge sports guy, but it's a really intriguing tale. That everyone's really good in, man. I think Hill absolutely steals it, and Pitt's always good, and Pratt's good too. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Moneyball. Really good movie.
Stephen, what do you say about Moneyball?
It's funny, when this movie came out in 2011, I saw it and I liked it, but I didn't love it. But it's been on TV recently, and I rewatched it, and it's a lot better than I remember giving it credit for. It is actually really good, and I definitely I give it a yes.
Kevin, what do you say about Moneyball?
Oh, this is one of the rare ones I still have yet to see. I've been really wanting to see it because it sounds really interesting, and a big fan of Aaron Sorkin's writing. I'm kind of bummed I still have yet to see it.
Yeah, I've seen this. I'm actually going to say no though, because I really don't remember Chris Pratt in this movie. And I know I love this movie because it ranked higher on Letterboxd. I just don't remember Chris in this movie, so I can't really judge his performance in this too much. So, Jacob, what do you say about Moneyball?
I'm gonna say yes. I love this movie. And yeah, I vaguely remember Chris Pratt. So, and just the movie overall is really good. It's one of my favorites. It's funny because baseball is one of my least favorite sports to watch, like live. But movies about baseball, I love them. So I mean,
That's true for me for any sports.
So yeah, I vaguely remember Chris Pratt. I remember really enjoying him at the time that I watched it. So yeah, I'll give it a yes.
I mean, I would enjoy more sports if Chris Pratt was involved. But Stephen, we go to you for your next nomination.
All right, I'll mention another movie that I was actually kind of underwhelmed when I saw it in theaters in 2016, but recently rewatched it not that long ago and like it a lot better. And since we're not, and that would be The Magnificent Seven. And since we've gone to spoilers with other movies, I'll say in this movie, oh, you haven't seen it. I won't say it then.
No, it's been out since 2016. It's my fault.
I don't want to spoil it for anyone. I'll just say that he's got the most badass scene in the movie.
Kevin, what do you say about The Magnificent Seven?
Yes, this truly awesome and fun Western. I really ever watch seen Westerns. I had a really blast watching it, especially with star cast of Denzel Washington, Ethan Hawke, Chris Pratt, Vincent D'Onofrio. I'm like, sure, why not? This could be an epic movie, and it was really. It wasn't all that crazy amazing, but it was really fun to watch. So I'm gonna say yes.
But yeah, I haven't seen The Magnificent Seven. Jacob, have you seen The Magnificent Seven?
I haven't, but I almost want to say yes just because he has the most badass scene in the movie.
Jordan, what do you say about The Magnificent Seven?
I have seen it, and I will give it a yes. I remember, like some people kind of dogged it a little bit, but I think I'm gonna chalk that up to maybe trying to compare it to a classic because I thought it was a tight westerner. Kevin mentioned some of the cast here. There's a lot of fun with D'Onofrio. There's fun with Hawk. Like everyone's kind of got something going on here. Brad himself has a fun arc, badass scene. So I definitely thought there was more good than bad in that, and it's a worthy movie to check out sometime. So yeah, it's a yes.
But that Magnificent Seven does make this list. Kevin, what is your next movie you're going to bring up?
Okay, my next pick is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Darn It Year. Yes. I really think this one was way better than the first one. It is, you do tackle more of an emotional feel for Star-Lord, even though he's still a bit childish, but this one you actually can get understanding why. Um, its interaction with Ego is, I think, really does make the movie even work, especially the part where you see his emotion he when he knows how Ego killed his mother. It's like, and you could tell why his reaction in Infinity War, which was never his fault. The comedy's great, especially with the introduction of Mantis, who really does kind of steal the movie for me.
But yeah, I do enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 a lot. And actually, I'm going to say yes. I don't have a problem with both Guardians making this list. But Jacob, what do you say about Guardians Volume 2?
I think Guardians 2 is actually a big step down from the first one. I don't think the humor. I think what they did with Drax's character, that doesn't sit well with me. I thought like the difference in him from the first movie was odd. But as far as Chris Pratt goes, I think his performance in this one is on par, even sometimes better than the first one. And the relationship that he has with his father, then the realization that he has. It's like if that was the only part of the movie, this would be fantastic. But like all the other stuff, like Drax and Mantis, I don't care for it. But overall, I still think it's a really good movie. So even though I'm dogging on it a little bit, I'm going to say yes.
Jordan, what do you say about Guardians Volume 2?
Yeah, I'm not going to argue this one either. It's a yes for me. I'm in the middle of Kevin and Jacob. It's a little bit of a step down, not a big step down. It's a worthy sequel and a lot of fun too. It's something I have revisited on multiple occasions. And like you said, Pratt's really good in it as well. He does have a little bit of growth, and the movie itself too. I just had some really great elements, and I think a ballsy ending. I give it props for the way it ends. Not like a lot of films would have that kind of ending, and so yeah, I'm going to say yes as well.
And Stephen, as someone who didn't like the first Guardians, was Volume 2 more your speed?
No, I thought this is. I thought this. I don't hate this movie, but I think this was a bottom 3 MCU. And plus, there's a key character that dies at the end. I won't say who. That we're supposed to care, even though he's been a side character and didn't and was more of a comic relief and had kind of an adversarial relationship
Poor Mary
with
Poppins.
Star-Lord. It's like
Mary Poppins, wow.
that scene was supposed to be, sad. But it's like I don't get why I was supposed to care.
But with that, it moves on to me. We've been agreeing a lot this episode. We haven't had any no's. I'm going to change that. My next nomination is movie 43. Even Thursday, no. just kidding. I mean, I like the movie. His small segment in that movie is not enough for me to nominate it.
To be honest, I would say
my
us.
What's that?
I would say yes just to cause chaos.
But my real nomination is going to be Jurassic World. I really enjoyed this movie. I know there's a lot of people out there that do not like these Jurassic World movies, but the first Jurassic World I think is great. And even Fallen Kingdom's not that bad, but the first one where we first meet Chris Pratt's character of Owen Grady is really good. This is just it's a fun movie. And it really shows the dangers of why Jurassic Park is a bad idea in the first place. And
They
this,
all.
well, I mean, this is the first time we see the park actually open. But like, well, yes, the first one still showed how bad of an idea this is. This shows it on a much bigger scale. But Jacob, what do you say about Jurassic World?
I'm gonna say yes again. It's just a fun movie. I think it's a fun reboot of the franchise. And it's just a fun movie to put on. And you're not going in expecting Godfather level quality. It's just a fun movie about dinosaurs with Chris Pratt. And that's enough for me.
Jordan, what do you say about Jurassic World?
I'm gonna give my first no today. Actually, it's fine. Like you said, throwing on if you go to the theater in an afternoon, but it just didn't do a hell of a lot for me. It's not something I often want to throw on a rewatch. I just lack of characters for both him and Bryce Dallas Howard. They could kind of do these roles in their sleep. There's not much for them. Yeah, I just both these movies didn't do much for me. So it's right on the cusp of me saying yes for him, but I'm gonna say no.
Stephen, what do you say about Jurassic World?
Probably a little bit of a hot take, but I actually liked Fallen Kingdom more. But but I actually enjoyed all of the Jurassic Park and World movies. I mean, I wouldn't put this high on the list, but I wouldn't mind it being in the lower level of the top 12. So I'll say yes.
Kevin, what do you say about Jurassic World?
Well, I was a bit disappointed by this movie. I still had lots of fun watching it. Chris Pratt did. I got lots of enjoyment from Chris Pratt, especially the parts with Bryce Dallas Howard as well. So yes.
But yeah, with that, Jurassic World does make this list,
Suck it, Jordan.
and we've got two spots left.
Go watch her.
Jacob, what is your
My
next?
answer is no already.
It might be because I'm going to nominate a movie. I don't know if many people have seen it. It's a movie that I just recently discovered earlier this year, and by earlier this year I mean like 3 weeks ago. And it's called 10 Years. It's about a high school reunion, and Chris Pratt plays this character who's trying to get forgiveness because he was kind of a jerk in high school, and he ends up making a fool of himself at the reunion and afterwards. But it's a fun movie. It's got a great cast. It's got Chris Pratt. It's got Channing Tatum and his former wife Jenna. It's got Justin Long. It's got a great cast, and it's just I really enjoyed it. I had a good time watching it, and Chris Pratt is probably the highlight of the movie for me. So 10 Years is my next nomination.
Jordan, what do you say about 10 Years?
Okay, I take it back. This one I will say yes to. No, this is my kind of hidden gem as well that I was thinking maybe no one else will bring up. But yeah, it's not the greatest, but yeah, I like that. It's got a great cast. Pratt's really good in it as well. You mentioned Tatum, his ex-wife. I think Rosario Dawson's in it. Yeah, it's a fun little flick. It's a quieter one. It kind of sneakily got out there because it's not a jam-packed action movie and it's a little slower, but it is a one worth checking out. Good performances from everybody here. So yeah, it is a yes for me as well.
Oh, and Oscar Isaac has a great song in this movie, by the way.
Yes,
if you haven't,
it's a great
so
cast. It's a great cast.
Stephen, what do you say about 10 Years?
This is actually on HBO Max right now, so I meant to give it a watch before tonight, but unfortunately I didn't get to it, so I haven't seen it.
That's where I watched it.
Kevin, what do you say about 10 Years?
Yeah, I've not seen it. I've heard about it, but I just never got around to seeing it. So I'm gonna abstain for this one again.
we don't have HBO Max in New Zealand, so I've not seen it.
I saw it on DVD years ago.
But with the rule, I always forget to mention at the start. If people haven't seen it, it doesn't count against the movie. As long as one other person says yes to the movie, then it makes it. So it's making this list.
Standing out, yay!
Woo!
It's
And
very shocking to me.
with that, we've only got one spot left. Jordan, do you give the movie for that spot?
All right. Well, I have the prequel to 10 Years, 5-year engagement. No, that's not true. But yes, I'm going with 5-year engagement. Fun rom-com here. Jason Segel, always great in rom-coms. Emily Blunt, how could you not love her? And Chris Pratt is, I think, the third billing. He's the friend here, and he's really funny as well. You know, kind of like Bradley Cooper. Before he was the number one guy, he was just a great kind of side character and friend and brother and stuff like that. And he's really funny in this as well. It has it's a little long, but it's kind of like an appetite, like it's telling a very fully formed story, has its dramatic moments. But I just thought overall a fun flick that also too I kind of feel like has been talked about less over time, but worth checking out. 5-year engagement.
Stephen, what do you say about 5-year engagement?
I haven't seen it in a while, but I'm going to say no. It's fine, but you know, it's a pretty typical, formulaic, predictable rom-com.
Kevin, what do you say about 5-year engagement?
This is what I think I've only seen parts of it. I never fully finished it. I think I never saw the ending. So I'm gonna have to abstain to it. But so far from the parts I saw, I actually did enjoy it. I laughed a lot.
Yeah, I like this movie. I think it's fine, but there's one that I really hope it gets back around to me that I want to bring up. So this is more of a strategic no for me.
Sabotage.
But Jacob, what do you say about 5-year engagement?
I say I haven't seen this. So.
But
sadly, it doesn't make the list, and we move on to Stephen.
Maybe in 5 years.
Well, I'm going to go with an earlier one that he has a smaller part, but he plays a douchebag, and he's fun in the part, and the movie is a really great, slick, entertaining action movie, and that's Wanted.
Kevin, what do you say about Wanted?
It's a lot of fun. It's crazy action. I love the comeuppance Chris Pratt character gets. It's so I still laugh at the part, especially it just keep hitting and bam, fuck you, spelled it out. I'm of course gonna say yes to it. I of course love watching this movie, and how can I not say no to it to be on this list?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to like this movie a lot, but it's fine. I mean, I like Chris Pratt's character. I like it in him enough in this movie, but I'm gonna say no. I don't think he's a really big role in this for it take the last spot. And there's still it's not the one that I was going to bring up. So, Jacob, what do you say about Wanted?
Yeah, with one spot left, I'm going to say no. I think his character is great. I think he's definitely a highlight of the movie. But yeah, with one spot left, I don't think his character is major enough, in my opinion, for the last spot. So I'm going to say no.
Jordan, what do you say about Wanted?
Yeah, it's right on the cusp of kind of right outside of my list. So I feel like it never quite gets that same energy as it does with kind of those opening moments, and I didn't like it as much as I had hoped. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I'm going to say no as well.
but with that, we move on to Kevin. What is your next nomination?
All right, so my pick is actually gonna be Lego Movie 2. This one, it's a bit more growth. I love the hilarity of involving the apocalypse theme and have like, oh, we're dark and depressing at the beginning. See how dark and scary we are. What Chris are still like, oh, just like smiling and happy. And especially with him voicing two parts as Rex Danger. It's of course like how could I not pick this, add this to this list?
But yeah, this is an easy no for me. I thought Lego Movies Part 2 was a second part, whatever the hell they want to call it, is a step down from how good the first one is. I mean, it's still enjoyable. I still plan on buying this and watching it many times. But yeah, it's going to be a no. Jacob, what do you say about Lego Movie, the second part?
This is an easy yes for me. I think this falls under that category of sequels that are almost as good, just as or almost as good as the first. I loved it. I thought, we get Chris Pratt and Elizabeth Banks again, and I had just as much fun with this one as I did the first one. So, easy yes for me.
Jordan, what do you say about the Lego Movie, the second part?
It's fun, but it's a little less than the first one, and I don't think I'm going to pull up Malcolm and be a strategic no.
But with that, Stephen, it's on you to decide, does Lego Movie second part make the list?
Actually, it's not on me because I haven't seen it.
But unfortunately, because it's a tie, it's not going to make the list. Both the yeses and nos cancel each other out.
Number 13.
But with that, it's back on me to do that, and I'm going to go one that I actually watched just recently, and I think it's a fun movie. I'm going to go for Delivery Man. This is I really enjoyed this movie. Like Chris Pratt plays a lawyer who is defending this guy who donated a obscene amount of sperm to the sperm bank and has about 140 biological children out there, which seems like a lot. But but the kids want to meet set up this thing to him want to meet this mysterious donor. And it's just a really fun movie. And it gets a bit of it's like, I know there's a lot of people say that it's not good. I like this. I think it's fun. Jacob, what do you say about Delivery Man?
I feel like I've been saying this a lot. I haven't seen this. I remember watching previews for this, and I thought the premise was so out there and just so dumb that I never gave it a chance.
Jordan, what do you say about Delivery Man?
For the first time tonight, I'm going to abstain as well. Never got around to it. I heard kind of mixed things. I've seen segments on FX or whatever, but yeah, I've never seen the full thing, so I'll abstain.
Stephen, what do you say about Delivery Man?
So I only had time to watch one movie today. So it was going to be a choice between 10 Years, movie 43, Delivery Man, Onward, the Lego Movie 2, and What's Your Number, and the Tomorrow World. I ended up choosing Passengers, so I didn't see this one.
Kevin, what do you say about Delivery Man? This is what I have seen, and I think it's a really cute and charming movie. Vince Vaughn. It's one of the rare movies where I actually care about Vince Vaughn. It's surprising. I love the emotions that they bring. It's these kind of ways about involving getting to know, I think, the father of some kind. I get attached with it. I'm like, it's cute. It's like, oh, I want to see what the real dad is. And he does spend time with all of them. I think, it's over 120 or something. It is like it's just one of those sweet, charming, like it helps brighten your day movies. And so I'm gonna say yes.
But with that, because of technicality, Delivery Man makes this list and closes out the 12.
It's probably that was all.
But with that, Jacob, did you have any honorable mentions?
Yeah, if we got down to that, we're struggling to find movies to put on the list. I would have brought up Endgame because even though he's only in it for a short time, I think he makes the most of his time in the movie. His back and forth with Thor is just amazing. So that would have probably been it.
Gordon, did you have any honorable mentions?
Yeah, I definitely would have brought up Endgame as well. I also kind of really liked him as the bad guy in a movie called The Kid, another Western where he gets a curse and he has a scar. And I thought that was kind of an undersung as well, so I would have brought that up. Other ones that were okay if we were getting desperate, Take Me Home Tonight, Passengers, Jennifer's Body, and What's Your Number were also kind of on the mind.
Stephen, what honorable mentions did you have? You're muted.
Yeah, I didn't bring up Endgame because we already had 3 MCU movies, but that's probably actually my favorite movie that he's been in, let alone my favorite MCU movie. And I actually did, even though I get people's complaints about how they felt like he got off a little on the easy side for what he did, I actually did like Passengers. It's been so long since I've seen it, and I don't remember him being in it. But I did like Take Me Home Tonight quite a bit. Jennifer's Body was kind of fun.
Kevin, what honorable mentions did you have?
Avengers Endgame, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Just because like it's dumb, but I still enjoy it for the crazy, the dumbness, especially with a clone twist. And him, when after being shot by dinosaur dart, he limps away from the lava, which is so hilarious. That and also, sadly, movie 43 just to cause chaos.
But yeah, for me, the honorable mentions that I had was What's Your Number? I do think it's a fun movie, and it's got Christy V's crush of Chris Evans in there as well. So it's doubly good. And I mean, there's a point where I thought I was probably going to end up nominating the recent Tomorrow War, just see what happens. It's a good movie, but once again, it's recent, so I didn't really expect everyone to have seen it by now. It's only been out 2 days, or 1 day, depending on how you wanted.
Me and Jacob nominate the first half.
Yes.
And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was getting to the point where I thought, oh shit, I'm going to end up nominating movie 43 for real. But with that, we get to the fun part of voting. So go to write down on a whiteboard or a bit of paper, whatever we've got handy, what we want at number 12. Jacob, what do you have for 12?
I have Zero Dark 30.
Jordan, what do you have for 12?
Jurassic World.
Stephen, what do you have for 12?
Guardians 2.
Kevin, what do you have for 12?
I scribble, but it's Jurassic World.
I had Onward, but Jurassic World is going to be number 12.
Can we get the list real quick? So I forgot.
Oh, it's in the private chat anyway.
Oh, it's in there. Oh, yeah, it is in there.
Yeah, learn to read, Jordan.
Never.
But I will recap the list for the people watching. So our 12 have got here we've got Guardians of the Galaxy, Zero Dark 30, The Lego Movie, Onward, Her, Infinity War, Moneyball, The Magnificent Seven, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Jurassic World, 10 Years, and Delivery Man. But Jordan, what do you have for 11?
I'll do Magnificent Seven.
Stephen, what do you have for 11?
Still Guardians 2.
Kevin, what do you have for 11?
10 years.
I've got Onward.
I've got Zero Dark 30.
So we've got a 5-way tie. I don't. No one has commented to that tonight, so we're going to a real. So it'll be a little bit. So we've got Onward, Zero Dark 30. The Magnificent Seven. "10 Years." And what was the other one? So I've got Onward, Zero Dark 30, The Magnificent Seven, 10 Years. What one am I missing? Guardians 2. That's right, I was trying to pretend it wasn't said.
I thought Kurt Russell was wasted in that movie too. I didn't say that before, but
Delete. Alright. Alright. I've got all 5 spots there and it's spinning.
oh,
And it is going to be The Magnificent Seven.
Bonus points for me.
It's not how this works, Jordan.
Oh, okay. All right.
Negative 12 points.
Go watch her.
Go watch the one movie you didn't watch.
Same thing to you.
This is fun. I don't think I'm gonna have to erase my board for a while.
But Stephen, what do you have for 10?
still keeping Guardians 2.
Kevin,
Delivery Man.
Onward. Jacob,
Zero Dark 30.
And your winner, Delivery Man.
Yeah.
I've won every round. Bonus points.
Negative 12.
Dang it.
Well, I mean, if your bonus points, you're at negative 10 now. So.
Kevin, what do you have for 9?
Zero Dark 30.
Onward. Jacob,
Zero Dark 30. Bonus points. for
Jordan.
me.
10 years.
and Stephen.
I guess your Dark 30 is going to be out because I'm keeping Guardians 2.
Bonus points.
Negative 14.
All right. I'm sticking with Onward. Jacob,
The other one that I haven't seen, Her.
Jordan,
10 years.
Stephen,
Guardians 2.
and 10 years is going to be 8.
Blasphemy. Not really. The fact that it made the list at all is great. Eight to 10 years. It's the next movie.
No, 80s will be the prequel. But Jacob, what do you have for 7?
Her.
Jordan,
I'll go Guardians of the Galaxy 2 now.
Stephen,
Guardians 2.
Kevin.
Her.
Which means my vote is not. Which means my vote is not going to happen. Because I'm sticking with Onward, but it also means I get to decide what ends up being 7 because. And just like I'm not going to say anything, I'm just going to type it in, and you'll.
I think you like
Well,
both movies a lot, so I don't know which one you're going to choose.
He's already typing too much to put Her in.
Yeah, I was going to say, just go by that. It's more than 3 letters, so I think we're safe.
Or I'm just putting a lot of letters to throw you off.
Ah. He knows we know. But see, I knew he knew I know, so.
This is my surprised face.
Where did I put my marker?
It is saving me a lot of writing.
But just to recap what we've got left, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy, Lego Movie, Onward, Her, Infinity War, and Moneyball. And Jordan, what do you have for 6?
I'll go with you now. I'll stick with, or go with Onward.
Stephen,
All right, even though I like this movie more than some others on the list, since he has a small part in it, I'll go with Moneyball.
Kevin,
Moneyball.
I'm going Onward. Jacob,
I'm just gonna keep Her up here until it's
Jacob
voted
split
for.
it now?
Jacob is the splitting. Do you want Onward or Moneyball at 6?
I'll go Moneyball just because he has a smaller role in that movie, and I really enjoy Onward.
But with that, we move on to 5. Stephen, what do you have for 5?
I'll go with the. I know it's not gonna be, but I'll go with the first Guardians.
Kevin, what do you have for 5?
Her.
I've got Onward. Jacob,
Her.
Jordan.
I went with Onward.
So Stephen, Onward or Her?
I don't like voting on movies I haven't seen, but there's no way I'm voting for Her. So I guess I have to say Onward.
Woo!
And I get to change my board for the first time in a while.
Oh, sure, brag about it. I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm just gonna leave this up here until it's voted for.
Kevin, what do you have for 4?
Her.
I went the Lego Movie. Jacob,
Surprise, surprise.
Jordan,
I'm with you again, Malcolm. Lego.
Stephen.
Guardians.
So, Stephen, Lego movie or
Oh no.
Let me change my board, please.
I mean, if you want to change your board,
Lego would lose.
Oh, well,
So-
if somebody want. Oh, if somebody
No,
wanted. Oh,
but
so,
no one's changed their vote. So, Lego or her.
I guess I'll go with her because he's got the smaller part in that.
Ooh, this is gonna be tough.
Which three are left?
Infinity War, Lego Movie, and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh.
Funny enough, the three that I thought was going to end up in the top three anyway.
They're my top three, so.
Well, here's my number one. So, but I've got the Lego Movie for free. Jacob,
The Lego movie.
Jordan,
Lego my ego.
Stephen,
Haven't changed.
and Kevin.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
But with that, the Lego Movie is going to be free.
Oh, great.
Which means I know what Stephen's going to go because we're going for number one instead of number two. So we've got Infinity War or Endgame.
I'm voting. We're at our number one, right?
Yep.
Oh,
See, I knew Jordan did though, so that's why I asked.
or maybe I acted like I didn't know.
But for that, Jacob, what do you have for number one?
My number one is Infinity War.
Jordan,
I disagree. My number one is
Am I frozen?
Avengers: Infinity War.
Stephen, Stephen, what's your number one?
David,
This is interesting.
Stephen, can you hear us?
He's still deciding. He doesn't know. They're such great movies.
So
But he's probably having technical issues or something. Kevin, what do you have for number one?
well, I mistakenly wrote one movie because I thought we were ranking number two, but I'm picking number one, Infinity War.
And I've also got Infinity War. Stephen. But
I think it's
number.
I think it'd be safe to say after he voted for Guardians the past 4 times, that Infinity War would have been the choice.
Yeah.
Negative 43 points to Jordan.
But with that being said, gonna go through what our 12 Chris Pratt movies are. At number 12, we've got Jurassic World.
no.
At 11, we've got The Magnificent Seven. At 10, we've got Delivery Man. At 9, we've got Zero Dark 30. At 8, we've got 10 Years. At 7, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy. At 6, we've got Moneyball. At 5, we've got Onward. At 4, we've got Her. At 3, we've got the Lego Movie. At 2, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy. And number 1, we've got Avengers Infinity War. But with that, going to go around the board. Jacob, where can people find you online?
Oh, you can find me on the Facebook. Just search my name, Jacob Barber. You can find me on the YouTubes over at Nerd Entertainment Network, where I host a show. And right now we're doing something cool where we're trying to find the best animated movie of all time. So far, we've got Finding Nemo for Pixar, and this week we'll be doing DreamWorks. I believe Malcolm should be on that if he's still available. So check that out on Tuesday.
But Jordan, where can people find you online?
Yes, indeed. You can find me over here on the YouTube's Pierce Wrestling channel, live wrestling matches. We got wrestling trivia, the Pierce Code channel, movie trivia, podcasts, also Real Pro Wrestling. July 10th, we're live. We're doing the Real Pro Rumble 30 man over the top rope battle royal. Jacob's going to get eliminated first.
I'm not a wrestler.
Yeah, he's not it. He's not it.
Don't bump me.
This was signed by Hacksaw Jim Duggan, by the way.
Kevin, where can people find you online?
You can find me at Darkman19 on Instagram. That's where I post pictures of some Pokemon Step adventures I do. Picture by dog, and sometimes a few Lego pieces that I buy. Darkman119 on twitch.tv/Darkman119. I often stream. And I think that's about it.
But Stephen, just so you can confirm our suspicions, what was your number one?
The suspense is killing me. Last.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with my connection.
I mean, it's all good, Stephen. Plug yourself anyway.
The joys of live TV.
But
he didn't even say bye.
I mean, he'll probably end up coming. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you guys now. I don't know what happened with my connections.
It's all good. Just so you can confirm our suspicions, what was your number one, and where can people find you online?
My number one would have been Infinity War. I have a feeling it was Guardians.
No, Infinity War was number one.
Oh, wow.
Unanimously.
Oh. Okay. I mean, you can find me on Facebook, in Letterboxd, Twitter. I mean, I'm not on Twitter that much, but
but yeah, you can find me on Take Three Productions hosting Rankum every Saturday. I'll have a poll up in just a bit with the options for next week. Tomorrow on Late Night Take 3, we're talking about crossovers, and along with the movie news and stuff, and we'll have the special guest Paige Fabretti from the Schmodown on there as well. You can also find me over on Full Metal. I host Full Metal Classic on Sundays at 6 p.m. Eastern. And you can also find me hosting Full Metal Random, and Full Metal Random this week is the IMDb match. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah. And until next time, keep listening shit. And as I end the broadcast.